The dollar just won't stop pumping. Forget it. Okay, forget it. The dollar just will not stop pumping. Okay? So why is Bitcoin again performing not so nicely? New weekly candle. What do we see? Oh, what a surprise! A red weekly candle is forming. What a surprise! I mean, should we be surprised by now that Bitcoin has a crap performance? Should we be surprised? I mean, look at this. I mean, it's still going sideways in that weird channel or whatever it's doing. We can interpret it in different ways. We can say it's kind of an ascending triangle channel. We can, you can draw them however you want. You can say that the resistance is more here, then it's kind of an ascending triangle. There are different possibilities of what is happening right now, and it's continuing to creep upwards. And could continue to creep upwards until at some point it breaks through, or it breaks through sooner than we expect, because soon the CPI data is going to be released. Day after tomorrow, we will finally know if inflation is finally coming down, and if it's coming down, then I think the stock market and crypto will pump. But until then, the dollar index is out of control as every day. I mean, why am I even still analyzing the dollar index? Why am I doing this? It's ridiculous. Wait, let me extrapolate what the dollar index is going to do in the next years. I think it will go to 100. No, wait, you know what? That is far too conservative. I think the dollar index will go to 318. Oh, wait, maybe it will go to, I don't know, 1300 in a straight line for the next 10-15 years. Okay, I'm calming down again. No, the dollar index, I mean, it's not slowing down, friends. And as long as the dollar index is not slowing down and just continues pumping, I mean, it is super parabolic. We can see that this is like almost a perfect parabola. Look at this here. I mean, it's just perfectly parabolic, and this could continue for quite a few more weeks. There's no indication whatsoever that this is going to slow down. We could do this for a few more weeks, and if this happens, then Bitcoin will not have a fun time. So we can really only hope, friends, we can really hope that this bearish divergence here will come into play, that this bearish divergence has a bit of meaning, so that hopefully if the CPI data is in our favor and inflation is lower than expected, that we get some kind of intermediate correction. If of course not a big correction, then at least please an intermediate correction before it continues pumping. Okay, we're not even asking for much anymore. Our expectations as crypto investors are so incredibly low right now that we're not even asking for much, okay? We would be happy with a small intermediate correction dollar. But of course, why is the dollar so strong? Because the euro is a joke. Because the euro is completely collapsing. Look at this. It's just falling. I thought this was like a bottom structure. This looked really like a bottom structure. It reminded me very strongly of the bottom structure of late 2018 to early 2020 of the altcoin market cap. That is what the altcoin market cap did in 2018 to 2020. And this strongly reminded me of this stuff. So normally, like if this here is this here, right? This here is this here, and this here is this here, then we should at some point get a rebound, I mean, we should at some point get a rebound, but drop it like it's hot. That's what everybody's thinking about the euro. So as long as the euro is dropping, the dollar index will continue pumping, because the dollar index is basically a measure of how strong the dollar is related to the most important currencies, and the euro is weighted with 57% in the dollar index. So most of it is actually just inverse to the euro. So if the euro is dropping, the dollar is pumping. So as long as the euro is dropping, the dollar will continue pumping, and only if this guy here reverses will the dollar finally start dropping and not before. The euro is crap, everyone knows that right now, because one crisis after another in Europe, Ukraine stuff, gas crisis, I don't know what crisis here, crisis there. So of course everybody's fleeing out of the euro into the beautiful, nice dollar, and that is why, friends, the dollar index just keeps on pumping like a crazy maniac and is already seeing now values that we haven't really seen since 20 years now. That is absolutely fascinating. So we can just hope for Bitcoin and for the entire crypto market that when the CPI data is being released now, day after tomorrow, that the inflation will be lower than expected, because that would of course lead to huge dumps in the dollar index and to huge pumps in the stock market. And we know that Bitcoin is so very, very correlated with the stock market. So what I could imagine happening now on the 13th, we might actually get CPI data that is not as high as everyone's thinking, especially because of course we know that many commodities are now coming down price-wise. Okay, so the price of commodities coming down. So I could imagine then we will break through this ascending triangle quite soon. But of course, that will entirely depend on the dollar index. Now, what is interesting is that the Bitcoin dominance looks as if it was poised to drop lower, which is kind of interesting. And the altcoin market is kind of more reluctant to drop than Bitcoin itself, which I find personally quite fascinating. If we look at total 3, it is a lot more bullish and a lot more reluctant to fall as compared to Bitcoin, because here we actually have a really beautiful triangle forming, which should normally also break out very soon. And as we said in the last video, we have bullish divergences all over the place, okay, as compared to Bitcoin. Here a bullish divergence and here a hidden bullish divergence, right? So we have bullish divergences all over the place, friends. So I'm pretty surprised of the strength of the altcoin market. And if now we're lucky on the 13th and the CPI data is in our favor, Bitcoin will pump and the altcoin market will also pump. But I think the probability for a pump directly to new all-time highs is not high if the Fed continues to hike interest rates. Only if the Fed suddenly pivots, makes a 180-degree turn, can we go to new all-time highs directly from here. If not, if the Fed will continue hiking interest rates, I see a strong possibility for a nice intermediate bounce. And then, friends, we will revisit these lows again. Before then, we finally go into the next cycle in late 2023, early 2024, okay? Because we shouldn't forget that the long-term logarithmic channel in which we are still allows us to drop even lower. It still allows us to drop here to values of now 13,000. And even as late as May 2023, we could still be at values of around 20,000. So we could have a bounce and we could still make almost a new low and then start going higher, which would not be so unprecedented, because this is actually exactly what Bitcoin did here in 2015. As you can see, this is exactly what it did. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing here, breaking through this logarithmic resistance line, bam, falling back, and only then going to new all-time highs later in 2023. So as long as this freaking sucker here doesn't stop pumping, friends, I'm not optimistic for the crypto market. Only if this sucker here finally starts rolling over and starts to correct, only then will Bitcoin and crypto start finally recovering and start pumping. Not before, as sorry as I am to say this. So let us hope that the CPI data on the day after tomorrow will be in our favor and inflation is lower than expected. Thanks for watching, friends. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please like it. And I would be happy if you would subscribe, because I'm doing daily updates, daily angry, aggressive updates on the crypto market, because every day currently is a big disappointment. If that changes, maybe my mood will also improve. But as it currently is, I cannot be happy about the performance of Bitcoin. So have a nice day, friends, and see you in the next crypto update video tomorrow. Ciao!